And that is the first discipline in
Earlier today, the competition started with the time trial.
We're going to get a little bit more information right now through the time trial and this explanation.
The remaining teams take each other on in the last chance round. And the 4 teams with the fastest times also go through to the next round, whilst all other teams are eliminated. In the round of 16, teams go head-to-head in a classic knockout round where the winners of each team make it through to the quarterfinals, and then to the semifinals. The losing team in each semifinal battle each other for 3rd place in the small final. Then the winning teams compete for the ultimate prize in the final, to become Timbersports Team World Champions.
All right, before that round of 16 and moving down towards the final, we have to get through the last chance qualifier here. So this is an opportunity for those who weren't fast enough earlier on in the time trial to make a stand for or make a charge for getting into that round of 16. Turkey and Ireland will be going up against each other. Romania and Netherlands, Norway and Italy will be battling each other, and Belgium and Hungary will be going against each other. Only 4 teams will be moving on to the round of 16, and 4 of those teams will have to take on the very strong and very fast top 4 teams from earlier on in the time trial. That's New Zealand, the United States, Poland, and Australia. So a tough job for any of the teams that make it through this last chance qualifier. Now, as I started earlier on, there are 4 disciplines that will be contested on stage by the 2 teams. The stock saw is the first one, then it goes to the underhand chop, then to the single buck, which is the long 2-meter long saw with 1 man pushing it back and forth on the log to simulate cutting a log in half that has been felled. And then we have the standing block chop, which is to simulate falling a tree while it's still standing. After the standing block chop and that top piece of wood has been cut off, then the time will stop, and that time will determine who will be moving on to the round of 16. As I said, Turkey and Ireland will be going up against each other in this first heat on the last chance qualifier. Turkey had a time of 1:14.28. They were just outside the fastest, or the 12th fastest time of 1:14 even. And Team Ireland was dead last in the qualifier, excuse me, or the time trial, and that was 1:44.28. So Ireland will have probably the easiest job here. They've got nothing to lose. They can just go for it, and hopefully they'll have a good time. But Turkey isn't going to be an easy one to beat. They've got some very strong competitors, so we'll see how both of these teams fare in this first heat, heat number 11 of the last chance qualifier. And there you see the MS661 stock saw. Like I said, basically this is a saw that any person can buy off the shelf from a steel dealership anywhere in the world. No modifications are allowed to the engine or the blade at all. And these are very controlled circumstances so that everybody has the same advantage or disadvantage when they start this competition, which is why the very first discipline in the team competition is the stock saw. All right, there you see Team Ireland, Seamus Ryan shaking hands as he heads up on stage. I do believe Seamus will be our standing block chop, means that he'll be the last man for Team Ireland to hopefully have enough speed and do a good job, but he's going to be depending on the remainder of his teammates to do their part in getting him to start that standing block chop before Seralchevik from Turkey. And there you can see them setting up also the single buck, that 2-meter long cutting saw with 1 sawyer there. Single buck will be Alparslan Balaban, a big, strong man. And there you see Team Ireland's full list of athletes. Only 4 on stage, but they're allowed to have 2 backups. Each team is allowed to have 2 backups. Some teams have come with only 4 athletes. Some have 6 with, just in case. Team Ireland, Team Turkey, getting set and ready for this last chance qualifier. Here we go.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And here we go. A good start by both of these teams. It looks like Team Turkey might have a slight advantage on this stock saw. They do, dropping that cookie first, and now moving over to the underhand chop. Critical point here. Team Ireland right there with them. Who will go over to the other side first? Switching around first, it is Team Turkey. Underhand chop being taken care of by Murat Bas. No, I don't believe that is Murat Bas up there right now. Murat Bas is guiding from the sidelines there. Team Turkey getting through the underhand chop very quickly, though. Team Ireland still struggling on the underhand chop. Took 2 less on one side and had to work too far on the other side. And right now, Team Turkey has a huge lead, as now we go over to Murat Bas, who is on the standing block chop. Massive advantage for the Turkey side. On a huge stick by Team Ireland, as that single buck just bowed big time, causing huge problems. And now it's going to be a problem for Seamus Ryan, who has to battle from well behind Murat Bas, just hammering away from Team Turkey's side on the standing block chop. And they are going to put it down right there with a time of 1:14.74. So in the last chance qualifier, that is currently the time to beat. Unfortunate for Team Ireland, their woes continue here as the time continues to count down for them. Seamus Ryan doing his best to try and get through that block, but the time just keeps running away on them. Never giving up though, and that is a motive for all of these teams to really think about, but a time of 1:37.82 does not look good for Team Ireland. Team Turkey happy with that though, a time not bad, 1:14.74. A little bit slower than they had in their time trial, so this last chance wasn't an improvement for them. Will it be good enough to get them into the round of 16? That remains to be seen, with 6 more teams to come out on stage. Up next, it will be Romania on the A side going up against the Netherlands on the B side, and we're just waiting for Rich Hallett to give us the yes if everything was good.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
All right, so what that means from our judge, Rich Hallett, is that both cuts are good. There are no flags on the play, no penalties because of cutting out of a log or a cookie. Here you see, there's the stock saw cutting down that straight line to create the cookie. Now, you can't cut inside that purple line there. If you do, that's a penalty. If you cut outside and don't have a complete cookie, that is also a penalty, and that will mean a DQ. Also, if you start on the next discipline too early before your teammate has finished his cut, that's also a penalty and a DQ. So Rich Hallett's both cuts are good means that everything was fine, and usually if there is a problem, you'll see a yellow flag thrown down on the stage, and then there will be an explanation from our judging crew. And you can see the final blows from Team Turkey right there on that standing block. Just a little hop right there, took 1 extra blow, and a team time of 1:14.51 now official. So a little bit slower than earlier on, as our next 2 teams are ready to come on stage. Team Romania and Team Netherlands. will be moving on to the round of 16. And in hockey, sometimes we say, well, sometimes you play up against a team that's better than you. In this case, if Team Turkey, with their time of 1:14.51, does make it to the next round, a round of 16, let's assume that they will be the last team to make it in. They will go up against Team Australia, who had the fastest time. That doesn't mean that Team Turkey will lose against Australia, but it does mean that they're going to have to play up against an incredibly strong team. That still remains to be seen, though, as Team Romania and Team Netherlands get set for their battle here on stage. Team Netherlands on the B side. Team Romania on the A side. Team Troy on the top side.
Warm up your saws.
All right, a quick warm-up of those saws. They are allowed to leave them running before the start, but both hands have to be on that block of wood.
Athletes ready.
Here we go.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice even start by both teams. I'm going to give the advantage at this point, partway down the log, to the Netherlands, and they do drop that cookie first. From my perspective, that cookie looks solid, and they begin on the underhand chop. Pace by the Netherlands, who will switch to the other side. Is Romania moving to the other side? Did they have enough on the first set of cuts? Romania looking good, actually getting through that log fairly quickly. Will the Netherlands have a deep cut on the first side? It's hard to tell from this angle up here in the Skylab. And it is Romania getting through first and moving over to the single buck. Frantic cuts by that single buck push. Moving that saw very quickly, and the Netherlands struggling. 3-4 axe sticking in there, and now finally getting through. And Romania has a massive advantage over Team Netherlands as they come to the standing block. Well, the Netherlands has just started their single buck. Romania will move to the other side after 1-2 more hits here. There we go. And now on to the other side, Romania with a massive advantage. The Netherlands trying to play catch up here. Unless something unforeseen happens for Romania, I don't think the Netherlands is going to do it. It's all about the time now. One more hit should do it for Romania, and they are through in a time. It's unofficial, but it's 1:21.80. Much slower than Team Turkey, who had a 1:14.50. So right now, Turkey is leading in these last chance qualifiers, with Team Romania in second place. Team Netherlands with a 1:33.01, so they are slightly better than Team Ireland. So if things stopped right now, those 4 teams would move on, but we still have 4 teams to come, and Norway is up next with a very strong team. Also, they'll be battling against Italy, who have known to come from behind many times before. Great camaraderie on stage as they are shuffled down into the decision zone by Rich Hallett, our head judge. And a quick turnaround on stage by the fantastic, we'll call them the pit crew here. They have to clean up all of those pieces of slab that have been cut off and all of the sawdust to make sure that we have a safe working area. And Rich Hallett will come down to the front here and let us know if both teams have good cuts.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
So it's official, both cuts are good, and we have now official time. Romania with a 1:21.46, the Netherlands with a 1:32.83. So, well off pace from the fast times of the time trials in the top 4 there. And we can look back here at the underhand chop. That's the Romanian side doing a good job. Actually, the Netherlands came out of the stock saw in the lead, but Romania was just that much faster through the underhand and into the single buck. And you can see the Netherlands struggling right off the start with that single buck. A huge bow from the blade. And once that thing gets going, if it stops, it's really difficult to restart that 2-meter-long saw with all those cutting and sweeping teeth. And here we see the last couple of blows from Team Romania. And there it is. Team Romania downs that block with a time of 1:21.46. So there you see the discipline rankings so far. Turkey on top with Romania in second, the Netherlands in third, and Team Ireland in fourth. Team Ireland and Team Netherlands in a fairly rough position right now with times above the 1:30 mark. Two fairly strong teams coming out next. Italy will be going up against Norway. Norway will have stand A. Italy will have stand B. Stand A on the left-hand side of the stage. Stand B on the right-hand side of the stage if you're looking from the audience perspective. And you see on the list from Norway, Ole Ivar Lierhagen, one of their strongest competitors. Ole will be taking care of single buck, the man with some experience on a discipline that requires significant experience as well as skill, flow, and endurance. John Arne Borg Ingo on the stock saw for Norway. And there we see on the Italian side, setting up on stock saw, Andrea Rossi. Is that Andrea Rossi? No, I don't believe it is. Excuse me, Andrea Rossi is going to be on the underhand chop. Stock saw, Riccardo Ambrosini. Single buck, we just saw Marco Locatelli.
Warm up your saws.
And on standing block, finishing up will be Mattia Gabini.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, quick start by Norway. He got into that log really fast, and he is looking good. They say thin to win. Well, he got out of there quickly, moving over to the underhand chop now. That is Ole Magnus Superberget. I hope I didn't destroy that name too badly, but he has moved over to the other side, wasting no time in getting to the backside of that log facing the audience and trying to get through there as quickly as possible. Andrea Rossi, a very strong, very tall man working it for Team Italy, but it looks like Team Norway might actually get there first. Oh my goodness, a great come from behind by Andrea Rossi, and it is Italy with a slight advantage going into the single buck. Here's where it counts with a lot of experience. Ivar Lierhagen almost all the way through that. Wow, a fantastic move by the Norway side, and they have gone from in the lead to being behind to being back in the lead, moving over to the standing block chop. Wow, attacking it. This is a dead even heat right now. Looks like we might even have a good time here. Let's see. Oh, Italy looking very strong. A couple more hits. Oh, Norway does it in a time of 1:16.24. Italy 1:19.66. So far, it's unofficial. But Norway and Italy have moved up into the top three positions here in second and third. Norway with a time 1:16.24. Italy 1:19.66, pushing Romania, Netherlands, and Ireland down into 4, 5, and 6 position. What a great battle that was. Norway looking good off the hop, getting through that stock saw very quickly, and then Italy coming from behind and actually getting through with a great effort by Andrea Rossi on the underhand chop. Then Norway coming back with a fantastic single buck, but it went to a faster time for Italy at the end of the day with a great team effort there. That was an exciting one, going back and forth, and that's what we like to see here at the Steel Timber Sports World Championships. Keeping it exciting.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
All right. right, so official times now locked in. Norway with a 1:16.04, Italy with a 1:19.33. And we can see here, Italy a little bit slower on that stock saw as the cookie dropped a little bit later, and a great start over on underhand chop, but Andrea Rossi on that underhand chop was just so strong. Massive power going into that block. You can see here, Andrea Rossi getting one final cut, and it moves over to the single buck, but Ivar Lerhagen, just the focus and intensity that he put into this one and his experience on that single buck brought them ahead. One small hook here, and he might have had an extra second advantage for his man on that standing block chop. And there you see on the standing block, Vebjorn Vieka Sonsteby was quick, but not quick enough, as Italy gets through Norway gets through just ahead of Italy. So there you see Turkey, Norway, Italy, and Romania at the moment would be moving on, but we have two more teams coming out on the stage, and that is Team Hungary on stand B and Team Belgium on stand A. Excuse me, other way around. Hungary on A, Belgium on B. Hungary and Belgium were very close to each other in the time trial, in 16th and 17th positions, with a time of 1:23.82 for Belgium and 1:25.11 for Hungary. They're going to definitely want to try and improve on that. Looking at the last chance heats now, fast time was Turkey with a 1:14.51, Norway with a 1:16.04, and Italy with a 1:19.33. So either one of these or both of these teams are going to want to be faster than Romania with a 1:21.46. But right now, if we're calling it based on their time trial efforts, we're going to see Romania in the next round. Let's find out here first.
Warm up your saws.
All right, here we go. The last heat in this last chance qualifier.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, great start by both of these teams. It looks like Hungary with the lead. Oh, but just by a hair as both teams move over almost evenly to that underhand chop. Belgium very quick in this one. But Hungary moving over to the other side just ahead of Belgium. Did they get deep enough on the backside pocket? Looking good for Hungary as they get through it first, moving over to that single buck. Belgium right there with them. This is looking very nice for both of these teams. Hungary right now with the advantage. Barring any major mistakes here by Hungary, they should get through that single buck quickly, and the cookie drops, moving over now to standing block. Hungary with the lead. They've got to get a time better than 1:21.46. They have an opportunity here. Moving into the 1 minute time frame now. Hungary moves over to the backside. Belgium on the backside now as well. This could be a good time for Hungary here. Will they have the best time in the last chance qualifier? Let's find out. No, they're not going to have the best time. But, oh my goodness, what a great comeback from Belgium with a time of 1:19.43. Belgium has done it coming from behind against Hungary. Hungary finishes with a 1:21.96. That means Belgium has jumped up ahead of Romania, and they will be moving into the round of 16. Oh my goodness, what a fantastic heat from Belgium, battling from behind right from the get-go, but that standing block chop was a killer blow for the team Belgium. Unbelievable, fantastic, what a heat. Oh my goodness. What an amazing heat that was.
Nice
That was
job,
a fun one to call.
Both cuts are good.
All right, so now we have the official times locked in. It will be Turkey, Norway, Belgium, who moved up ahead of Italy with a 1:19.18 officially, and Italy with a 1:19.33. Those four teams will be moving on to the round of 16. And let's just take a look at these slow-mos one more time. There's the stock saw from close up, that STIHL MS661 stock saw that all teams are required to use. And then on the Hungary side, that underhand chop was looking so good for them. They were actually through first on that underhand chop and got on to that single buck. But it was all about that standing block chop for Team Belgium. That was just a phenomenal standing block chop. And here we see on the Belgium side, 2 blows to go, and that did it for them. 1-2, bang, and down it goes. What a comeback for Team Belgium, and a fantastic standing block chop. Amazing. I do believe that was Koen Martens that did that one. So there you see Turkey, Norway, Belgium, and Italy will be moving on to the round of 16. Romania, Hungary, Netherlands, and Ireland are unfortunately out of the competition now. That's done and dusted for them, so they can sit down and concentrate on tomorrow. And we can see here a side-by-side analysis of Turkey and Norway, the 2 fastest times in this last chance qualifier. You can see the transitions, very good for both of these teams. Both of these teams with a very quick axe on this underhand chop. And this analysis is new for us this year. It's really cool because we get to see the 2 teams battling against each other side by side, what the differences are as they move over to that single buck on the Turkey team, while Norway still battling through here. And you can see that 4-second or 2-second is a huge difference when it comes down to these teams. And there you can see Murat Bas on the Turkey side really working that standing block chop. And then finally the transition for Norway on the standing block. We can see Norway was very good and very fast in the standing block chop, and if these 2 teams were going head to head, it would have been a bit of catch up, but they would have been right there. Huge slab came off for Norway, as you see. But Murat Bas, such a strong competitor, and that slab might have helped Norway a bit, as you can see one last blow, and it was only 2 seconds, not even difference between those 2 teams. So nice analysis for us right there as we get ready to bring out the round of 16. And just to let you know, New Zealand will be battling against Italy, the United States will go against Turkey, Poland and Norway, and Australia against Belgium, those 4 teams that moved on from the last chance qualifier. And there you see Sweden and Great Britain will be going up against each other first. So Sweden will have stand A, Great Britain will have stand B. This should be a good battle between 2 very strong teams here in this round of 16. Quarterfinal will be 8 teams moving on. Round of 16 going to be whittled down from 16 teams down to 8 for that quarterfinal. And now it's elimination. Here we go. So Sweden going up against Great Britain. For Sweden, we've got Kalle Svadling, Pontus Sky, Ferry Svan, Hans Ove Hansen, and Johannes Eriksson, and Emil Hansen are the 2 extras. Not exactly sure who's going to be where. I can see Ferry Svan setting up for the underhand chop. There is the young man right there. Hans Ove Hansen, I do believe, will be taking care of the single buck. Ferry Swan's been working hard over the season from the Champions Trophy in Göteborg in the spring. It was a solid performance for him there. On the Great Britain side, Ross Hanley, Elgin Pugh, Rob Chatley, and Scott Fox will be on stage for this particular heat.
Warm up your
Elgin
saw.
Pugh going to be taking care of that standing block chop to support his team in the last bit of hits here. And I think I have to correct myself. I believe it's going to be Pontus Sky for standing block
ready.
for Sweden.
Stand to
Here
your
we go.
timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start for both these teams. Hard to tell who's ahead here, but it looks like Team Great Britain just ahead of Team Sweden. But Ferry Swan choking up on that axe and making quick work of that backside, moving over to the front side now, facing the audience. Big slabs coming off of his block. Ferry Swan gets it through quickly for Team Sweden. And now moving over to that single buck. Wow, it's going to be close here. Slight lead by Team Sweden. Oh, big hookup for Team Great Britain. That's a huge problem for them, as now the advantage definitely goes to Team Sweden as they move to the standing block chop before Team Great Britain even gets through their single buck. Big problems for Elgin Pugh as he's going to have to work big time from behind. Team Sweden looks like they've got this one locked down. Elgin Pugh, though, coming hard from behind, trying to do his best. One final throw for Team Sweden. They get through in a time of 1:7:15. Oh, that was just unfortunate on that single buck for Team Great Britain. Two big hookups. And that big long 2-meter saw, very difficult to restart. Elgin Pugh battling hard on that standing block chop. But unfortunately, the time isn't good enough for them with a time of 1:20.72. That's 13:57 off pace. And Team Sweden wins this one hands down. All right, some disappointed faces from Team Great Britain as they battled hard there. They were actually in the lead for the short time there, but Ferry Swan.
And the winner is Team Sweden.
As I was just saying, Ferry Swan from Team Sweden was just faster on that underhand chop, and he's the reason why Team Sweden managed to start on their single buck a little bit ahead of Team Great Britain. And then we'll look back at this again and take a look. It was a good start actually here by Team Great Britain on that underhand chop. Big long strokes though, and that was just a little bit slower. The power was there, but Ferry Swan, that man right there on the underhand chop, was just a little bit quicker, choking up on the axe, having faster blows on that front side facing the audience. And you can see here, one final blow. The log was already loose, but he wanted to be on the safe side, getting it over to the single buck. And you can see on the backside, Team Great Britain, a little bit of a twist on the saw. It gets hooked up, and that just caused huge problems. Starting that saw again for Team Great Britain was the problem. And here, the last few blows on the standing block chop, it was a valiant effort by Elgin Pugh on the far side, but it just wasn't enough to catch up to a strong Team Sweden today. And Team Sweden will be moving on to the quarterfinal. All right, the next team coming up on the stage will be Team Germany against Team France.
Regular water. They didn't have bottles.
There we see Robert Ebner, one of the very strong members of Team Germany. He'll be taking care of the underhand chop. Final preparations on that single buck. Lars Siebert. They've got Robert Ebner here at standing block chop, but that's incorrect. He has got underhand. And there we see Pierre Puy-Barret. He will finish things off for us on the standing block chop. Very strong French competitor. Kind of funny guy too. You wouldn't know it, but he is interesting. All right, Germany against France. Plenty of German fans in the audience. It's only a 4.5-hour drive.
Warm up your saws.
So a lot of people have made the trip here.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Solid start by Team Germany there. Team France also very good. Wow, very close on stock saw. Robert Ebner, he is a class act when it comes to the underhand chop. He's over to the other side facing the audience first. France working deep on the backside. Now finally moving over to the front side. Robert Ebner looking good here on the front side. He gets through quickly now, stepping over to that single buck, 2 meters long, sweeping and cutting teeth. They don't want to have any mistakes. No twisting of the saw. You got to make sure that the belly of the saw stays even and no major angles. Fantastic job by Team Germany. They're through. Very good. Now moving over to the standing block chop. Germany might have a very good time here. Still working deep on the first side, moving over to the back side now. Pierre Puy-Barret for France, stepping into his standing block chop, but Germany with a definite advantage here. Whoa! Time is done in 1:07:03 unofficially for Team Germany. There's Stoke, Pierre Puy-Barret, still working on it. One more blow for him, and that's a 1:14:77. Unfortunately, I don't see any flag on the play, and that means Team Germany wins this one, and they're going to be moving on to the quarterfinal. Good job by Team Germany. A great single buck by them. Really had them solidly in the lead coming to the standing block because they knew Pierre Puy-Barret is a very strong competitor when it comes to that event, and he can literally bring his team from behind on that discipline. But Team Germany has done it this time against Team France, so that means the Germans will be moving on to the quarterfinal, and you can hear the German fans. There's a block of them in the audience waving flags, screaming, yelling. They might even be yelling some obscenities at their team for being over a minute in time, but who cares? They're moving on to the next round.
And the winner is Team Germany.
Great reaction from Robert Ebner, waiting for the confirmation. And Team Germany is on with an official time now of 106.84. So they're slightly faster than Team Sweden, who had a 107.11, but now it's not necessarily about the times. That will only be used in a tie-break situation at the end of competition. But at this point, it's Team Germany moving on to the quarterfinal. And you can see there, Team France, solid, but just not quite fast enough as they got into that single buck well late. And here we see the German side. They know they got Pierre Puy-Barret on the other side there for France, moving quickly, but that final blow from Germany did it, and that means they are through. Well done, boys. So Austria now going up against the Czech Republic. And wait for it, when the Czech Republic gets announced here, this arena is going to explode. And a happy Team Germany moving on to the quarterfinal. Flags up, everybody. It is Team Czech Republic on the A side going up against Team Austria on the B side. Armin Kugler will be backing up the team on standing block. Team Czech Republic, Martin Komarek, their captain, will be on underhand chop. Jan Holub will be taking care of that last discipline, going up against Armin Kugler on the standing block. Martin Kalina getting ready on the single buck. As I mentioned, Armin Kugler
Warm up your saws.
will be taking care of standing block chop. Thomas Fasching should be on the underhand.
Athletes ready.
Here we go. Austria, Czech Republic.
Your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow, what an angle on the Austrian side. Czech Republic with a good cut there as well. Austria is through just ahead of the Czech Republic. But Martin Komarek, the underhand chop man, takes the advantage here, as it looked like on the Austrian side there was a bit of an axe stick. Komarek moved to the other side now. Austria right there with them. Komarek gets a stick as well. This is his favorite discipline, but will he get through there first? It looks like he will, yes. Frantic start for the Czech Republic on that single buck. In opposition on the Austrian side, they've got nice long strokes, good flow. Austria catching up now. Oh boy, this is going to be close. Czech Republic moving over to the standing block chop. Jan Holub taking care of that one. Armin Kugler for Austria. He's strong in this discipline, and he moves over to the other side first. This could be a game of catch-up, or it could be a win for Austria. Let's see if Jan Holub can get through there before Armin Kugler. Is it going to be the Czech Republic? Yes, it is! And the crowd goes bananas. The Czech Republic wins just ahead of Austria. Oh my goodness, what a battle. Guido Husken, the German commentator next to me, just shaking his hands. That was incredibly close. Oh boy. 1:11:48 for the Czech Republic, 1:14:89. And I mean, it's 2-3 seconds, but boy, oh boy, was that ever close. Oh, and we have an investigation on stand A for the Czech Republic. There's a flag down on the play. So, ladies and gentlemen, this could be our first opportunity to step into competition control center and see what it is they're looking at. Not sure if that's going to mean a DQ for the Czech Republic. If it does in fact mean a DQ, that is going to be heartbreak for the fans here for the Czech Republic, and let's wait and see. And they are just looking at, it looks like it is the stock saw. Was a line cut over? We'll wait and find out if both cuts are good or if there will be a disqualification. Rich Hallett ominously stepping down onto the results stage. Let's find out what he has to say after that quick visit to competition control.
All right, gentlemen, after checking the transition from stock to underhand, we've determined that the winner is the Czech Republic.
Whoa, some relief, sweet relief for the Czech Republic, as they did in fact have a fair transition from stock saw to underhand sew. That means the Czech Republic will be moving on to the quarterfinal, to the delight of the crowd here in Prague. And check out that start by Austria. Wow, what an angle on that saw. And I do believe that was the reason why they were a little bit slower on the stock saw here. And Martin Komaric right there, you can see he gets his axe caught in that block on the backside, but he managed to get through just ahead of the Austrian competitor. And here we see on the backside Jan Halub. 1-2 more hits for him, and there it is. That block is down with the Czech Republic winning this one. And Armin Kugler, a solid competitor, just wasn't fast enough on that standing block. Disappointment for Team Austria this time. Great reaction from Czech Republic though, and from the fans here as well. Unbelievable. That is some pressure off their shoulders. And we're gonna throw down for a quick interview in Czech from the Czech team.
Máme tady Martina Komárka, ale podíváme se také do zahraničí. Nejprve pěkně mezinárodně. Martin, you are part of Czech team. This atmosphere is amazing. What do you say about it?
First thing, thank you very much. We are feeling the positive energy, so thank you guys.
Říká Martin Komárek. Martine, vy 4 bojujete jako lvy. 4 bojujete o tu největší šanci, teď jste mezi 8 na mistrovství světa. Je to tvrdá práce, když se podíváš mezi ten dav. Ne stovky, ale tisícovky diváků a fanoušků. Co to s tebou dělá? S mužem, který je nejzkušenější z týmu.
Musím říct, že to je opravdu těžký závod a na všechny z nás je to prostě náročný, ale my dáme do toho všechno. Jste viděli, budeme se snažit, makáme a potřebujeme, abyste nás dál drželi.
Říká Martin. Martine, dáte do toho všechno?
Dáme do toho všechno!
Leoši!
What a fantastic heat that was between the Czech Republic and Austria. And what relief for the Czech Republic and for the fans here in Prague. Incredible. All right, up next we've got Canada against Switzerland. Now Canada, of course, everybody knows Canada is a nation of loggers. So they should do well. But you know what? Switzerland's no slouch either. They have a great team this year. They're looking solid. And I do believe, if I remember correctly from the time trial, Switzerland was not that much slower than Canada, only by about 4 seconds. But adrenaline taken over in many cases will help a team move ahead. Underhand chop looks like it's not going to be Ben Cumberland. In fact, it's going to be Sterling Hart. Marcel Dupuis taking care of the single buck, that long saw. And I do believe Ben Cumberland will be taking care of our stock saw. On the Switzerland side, Christoph Geisler standing in at standing block chop. So he's going to be the man going up against all right.
Warm up your saws.
Good view of the stage here. massive undertaking. Big congratulations to the stage crew as well for building this thing up, and of course, in between, making sure that that stage is clean and safe for the athletes that are on there. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Nice quick start for Canada. Looking solid as they're pretty even now with Switzerland, excuse me. Dead even start on the underhand chop. Sterling Hart moving over to the backside facing, or the front side facing the audience. He got over there quick, and he's very strong in this discipline here. On the far side for underhand, we have David Bier. Sterling Hart managed to get there quick and giving the opportunity to Marcel Dupuis as he takes over on single buck. Ben Cumberland waiting at that standing block chop. Sterling Hart screaming encouragement to the guys. Ben Cumberland going at that now, really working hard on that standing block chop. Quickly over to the other side, but Christoph Geisler for Switzerland is very strong in this discipline. It's going to be a close one. One more hit. Oh, and Cumberland does it for Canada. And are they under a minute? No, they are not. 1:01.67. That's unofficial time. It could be adjusted here. Switzerland, wow, struggling now. I thought that Christoph Geisler was already on the other side, but in fact, he had switched after Team Canada got through their standing block chop. What a fantastic heat for Team Canada. That is a huge improvement on their time trial time of 1:07.25 in the round of 16. They just cut a 1:01.67. And again, this is still unofficial until we get that last call from Rich Hewitt down on the results stage. But Canada has to be pleased with that, and I do not see a flag on stage. So it looks like everything is good to go for both of these teams here. Sterling Hart giving high fives to some of the kids that are down there at the end of the results stage. And let's wait for the call from Rich Hallett.
And the winner is Team Canada.
All right, so that is clear, and the time has been adjusted to 1:01.47. So 1:01.67 was the unofficial. 1:01.47 is now the official time. Canada will be moving on to the quarterfinal. And we're going to take a little look here back at the slow-mo here from Canada. Great start there on that stock saw. Really nice entry into the log, but you know what? Both these teams dropped their cookie at a dead even time and went over to the underhand chop. The difference was at the underhand chop, Sterling Hart was just a bit faster, and there we see Marcel Dupuis really grimacing through that single buck, doing a great job for Canada. And that's experience and skill right there, along with that endurance, which you absolutely need on this particular discipline. And here we see Cumberland just hammering away on that final hit. And on the other side, we saw Christoph Geisler. I was really surprised to see him still on the first side as Canada dropped that log just as he was moving to the other side for Switzerland. And of course, the Canadian fans really into it. All right, so Canada moving on to the next round, and we're going to take a look at the comparison here between Sweden and Germany. Look at the times there. 1:07.11 was the official time for Sweden, 1:06.84 for Germany. Not that different. And let's take a look at this side-by-side analysis. You can see Ferry Swan really quick with the axe there, switching to the other side right there with Robert Ebner. Robert Ebner picked up the pace with his axe head on the front side there as Ferry Swan was quick through, and so was Robert. A quick fist pump by Robert to let everybody know, yep, he's in charge on that single buck. Wow, really even. And it was actually looking like Germany might make the drop on that cookie. Oh, very, very close, like a millisecond difference between the two. And here we go onto the standing block. This comparison really fun to see just how different the styles are when somebody transitions to the other side of the block, just like we saw there from Sweden ahead of Germany. Depends on who cuts deeper on which side and who feels more comfortable transitioning earlier or later. And there you go. Wow, dropping the block nicely. Very, very close heats there if they were going head-to-head. But as we saw, this is just a comparison of the two teams. All right, next heat coming out. New Zealand going up against Italy. Now, Italy came from the last chance qualifier. They're going to be on stand B on stage. They are in tough against New Zealand, who had a very good time. They were under 1 minute in the time trial. Italy, on the other hand, their time coming out of the last chance qualifier was 1:19.33. So in this round of 16, going up against New Zealand, who had the fastest time, by the way, with a 50.35 in the time trial. That means Italy is going to be in tough here in this battle.
Warm up your saws.
All right, some experienced Axemen and Sawyers there for Team New Zealand.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Under these circumstances, Italy will have to definitely play up. It's looking good as they cut that disc off just behind New Zealand, moving over to the underhand chop now. Andrea Rossi still on the backside. New Zealand's moved over to the front side, and now Andrea Rossi has finally moved over to the front side. New Zealand well ahead of the game here, through and already on to the single buck. Wow, incredible speed on the single buck by New Zealand. There's no catching them now unless there's a major saw hookup or axe stick here. New Zealand looking great, looking like they might even beat their time from the time trials earlier. With that adrenaline pumping, you never know. 46-47, New Zealand well ahead. Oh my goodness. Italy trying to catch up very slow in the single buck, and New Zealand dropped it in 54.66. They're not going to beat their time trial time, but they're still under a minute. Italy battling hard on that standing block now. Lots of appreciation from the audience. They never want to see somebody give up, and you never see any of these competitors give up. They are warriors battling right through to the end. And Italy, their time is definitely not as good as their time from earlier on, and they were up against a very tough competitor, with New Zealand dropping that block in a time of 54.66. Great time, and Italy out of it here. I don't see any flags on the play yet either, as the judges take a last look at all of the blocks and then send the guys down to the results zone. So barring a disqualification here of New Zealand, we should see them moving on to the quarterfinal without any drama at all.
And the winner is Team New Zealand.
Yeah, that was pretty clear. No arguments from anybody on this one. New Zealand is very, very, very strong looking this year. Could New Zealand be the team to take down Australia and their domination from 2018? It's likely by the way it looks, how they're performing right now. All right, up next, the USA will be going up against Turkey. Turkey was the best of them in the last chance qualifier. See here, just incredible solid performance from Team New Zealand, slabbing out some big pieces there on that block, and there's that final blow to do it. And you can see in the background Italy struggling with a couple of big hookups on that single buck, and again that situation is very, very difficult. Once that saw stops, your momentum disappears, and the power and the endurance that's required to restart that big saw is really, really impossible just to get the flow back again. All right. Next up, the United States going up against Turkey. And as I mentioned, Turkey, the strongest team from the last chance qualifier with the best time there. And the United States was among the teams that were under a minute. No, excuse me, yes, they were. They were under a minute with a 56.43 in the time trial. Turkey, meanwhile, from the last chance qualifier with a 1:14.51. So they're a few seconds off here if they want to catch up. So pressure is on the United States to not make a mistake here. Basically, this is their heat to lose. By the way, those competition axes are specially made,
warm up your saw.
Polished axes, sharpened to a razor sharp edge. You can shave with them, not that you'd want to. Each axe head weighing about 4 to 5 kilograms, so you can imagine the power and the strength that it requires to keep that accurate and moving. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Start for Team USA. They're fast through that first cookie. Very even start, actually. Turkey right there with them. Jason Lentz on the underhand chop. Oh, no, excuse me. That's not Jason Lentz. That's Matthew Slingerland. Actually, I don't see Jason. Jason Lentz is now on single buck. Big, tall man, Jason. He's got plenty of power, and he's looking good on the single buck there as the underhand chop is finally done for by Turkey. And Turkey's got a strong man on their single buck as well. So if anybody can catch up, it's him. Oh, and Jason Lentz gets that saw hooked up. And now it's given an opportunity to Turkey to catch up. Murat Bas waiting on that standing block. And on standing block for the USA, I do believe it is Cassidy Shear. And a huge finish for the USA on stand A with a time of 1:04.59. They were a bit slower this time around. And finally, Turkey coming through in 1:13.62, excuse me. Turkey actually improved here in this round going up against the USA, but they just weren't quite fast enough. And we have a flag on stand B. That's the Turkey side. And it looks like Andy Hall is going to make the call for a video review. So we will visit competition control once again. It looked like on the Turkey side, a foot came off of the block. And if the athlete swings and impacts that block with his foot still off, that is considered a penalty. And they're just going to make sure really carefully there. But we'll find out. Rich Hallett heading down to the decision zone.
After video review, we determined that there's a 15-second penalty on Team Turkey for the transition between underhand and single. The winner is Team USA.
All right, the penalty is a moot point here because Team USA was just that much faster than Turkey was in this case. So Turkey is eliminated from competition, and that means the USA will be moving on to the quarterfinals. So here we see Turkey. They actually had a really good start on the stock saw. They were almost dead even as that cookie dropped with Team USA. Couple of blocks sticking there as they were working hard on the backside. There's the axe stick one time. Very short hits here. Not a lot of power from Team Turkey, which I'm a little bit surprised by. And there's the step down in the transition they were talking about. And we saw, yeah, the single buck started a little bit too early. There's the step down. There's the start of that single buck, which is the reason for the 15-second penalty. But again, that was a moot point as the USA hammered this one down in a time of 104.34. And Turkey was done in 128.26 if you include that 15-second penalty. So a good job by the USA to battle through here on that one and do it very well. All right, we're going to have another analysis, side-by-side analysis here, this time with Team Canada and Team New Zealand. And watch here, New Zealand's quite a bit faster than Canada on that stock saw, where they know, in fact, Canada got through the stock saw before Team New Zealand. But Team New Zealand, as we know, is very quick on that underhand chop. Sterling Hart switching over to the other side for Canada before Team New Zealand. See their time not that very different. Sterling Hart kicking it down just a little bit behind New Zealand, and Marcel Dupuis, he's solid on that single buck. New Zealand, however, wow, they were very quick. They got it done in under a minute. Marcel Dupuis finally dropping that cookie and then moving over to that standing block chop, and we could see New Zealand already on the backside of that standing block. And what was the difference? It was like 7 seconds difference between New Zealand and Canada, and it was really all about a good underhand and a good single buck. And what a finish though by Canada, that top block just flying across as we have another head-to-head analysis there. Nicely done. All right, Poland and Norway coming on to the stage now. Poland stage left on stand A, Norway stage right on stand B. Poland was the other team during the time trials that was under a minute. Very, very strong looking team this year. And I think a lot of people are kind of, you know, shaking in their boots about the skill level of Poland. And this year, they could be the team to beat along with New Zealand. So let's see. So Norway again making it out of that last chance qualifier, second fastest in the last chance qualifier with a time of 1:16.04. That's the drawback of having to battle through that last chance qualifier. If you're not fast in the time trial, you end up going against the 4 fastest teams from the time trial. In this case, that's New Zealand, Australia, Poland, and the United States. Now, we just saw the United States take down Turkey, and now it's about Poland trying to take down Norway. All right, here we go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice even start on the stock saw for both of these teams. minutes, just ahead of Team Norway. And wow, the speed of the axe by Poland, a couple of times stuck though, and that power plays a role here. You've got to really hit that log accurately. You can't just hammer away at it because that axe will get stuck. Oh my goodness, Poland is rocking and rolling right now as they move over to the single buck. Norway still struggling on that underhand chop and finally gets it through. And Poland has already dropped the cookie on the single buck. And now moving over to the standing block chop. Mikko Dubicki, a big, strong powerhouse of a hitter, and he's moved over to the backside already. Will he be under a minute with his team again? Oh no, just about there, and he got it down in 102.02. Against Norway, who's coming from behind at this point, battling hard, and no flag on the play on the Polish side. Andy Hall keeping a close eye on Norway. They're tired though, you can see that. Last couple of hits for the Norwegian side, dropping it at 122.26. Just saw Arkadiusz Droztek jump in there really quickly to have a quick look at the final cuts on that standing block chop, but what an incredible performance by Poland. And this year, they are looking extra strong. Really, really good showing there. Confirmed by Rich Hallett. The winner is Team Poland with a time of 101.78 after adjustment. Team Norway with a time of 122.12. And we could see here, it was actually a really good start for Team Norway on that stock saw. They dropped the cookie, and it was a thin one as well. Very, very good and accurate cut by Team Norway. But the power and the accuracy of Team Poland was just too much to handle for Norway this time. And you can see here, huge hits. I think that is Marcin Praga. Just massive hits there. And Poland, Mikko Dubicki, that final blow to finish it off. Thought he was going to do it under a minute again, but he just needed a couple of extra hits to drop that top block off. What a great heat though for Poland, and they move on to the quarterfinals. One last heat to go here, and it is going to be the reigning champions, Australia, against Belgium. Belgium got to be shaking in their boots going up against a very, very strong team. I don't see Brad DeLosa down there, so he's left it up to Braden Meyer, Lawrence O'Toole, Glenn Gillum, and Mitch Argent to take care of business down there. Glenn Gillum will be the guy working the standing block with his massive axe head. We were impressed with how well he worked this extra wide. It's 20, or no, I believe it's even 35 centimeters face of the axe. It's a massive thing. It looks like a Viking axe from days of yore. It is legal. And I don't know if that makes it easier or harder, but nevertheless, you have to have power and accuracy to work an axe head like that. Robin Cuvelier, Martin Cuvelier, Bert Barnes, and Koen Martens for Belgium as the last bits of cleaning get taken care of on the stage by our crew, who do a fantastic job to keep things flowing here. So the last heat in this round of 16, the reigning world champions in green and yellow, Team Australia, led out onto the stage. And it looks like Team Australia have a little bit of confusion there about where their equipment is. Team Australia is in stand A, but some of their gear has been put over onto stand B. So right now they're just making the switch. So there you can see Lawrence O'Toole, the reigning individual world champion, will be on stock saw. Braden Meyer taking his turn on the single buck, stepping in for Brad DeLosa, who is normally very strong on that discipline. They're feeling confident in his skill there to be able to take down Team Belgium. Getting ready to go. These guys will warm up their saws here shortly. Everybody else looks pretty set to go. Look at the focus on Lawrence O'Toole right there. Glenn Gillum, Lawrence O'Toole, Braden Meyer, Mitch Argent on the underhand chop.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Camera on Lawrence O'Toole, focusing on him right now for the start. Really good cut by both of these teams, and it looks like Belgium is through first. And now Australia joins the fray here on underhand chop. Mitch Argent on underhand chop, working to the other side already. So strong in this discipline, they are through. Braden Meyer now working that single buck, that long 2-meter saw for Australia. Belgium falling behind here as they finally jumped into the single buck now. Whoa, look at that time. Glenn Gillum now with that huge axe head of his. The speed that axe moves under his control is just incredible. He is through. Are they going to get it done under a minute? Boy, it's going to be close there. Yes! One. Oh, my goodness. I think they might even adjust that one. 1:00.27 for Australia. Belgium battling hard. Big slab off that standing block chop. Martin Cohen's trying to get the final hit done, and he does it. Happy to be through, happy to be done, but that was a tough battle against Australia. Yeah, Go Chopperoos is right. Doesn't appear to be any flags on the play here. Have to keep a close eye on that sometimes. Good battle, though. Good battle by both of these teams. Belgium with a great start. Actually, they were faster with their stock saw than Australia was. And they just fell behind in that underhand chop, because underhand chop is just a discipline that New Zealand, or excuse me, Australia has dominated for the last few years, starting with Braden Meyer actually a few years ago at the Champions Trophy in Austria. He was just incredible. He was so fast. All right, waiting for Rich Hallett to give us the final call here.
And the winner is Team Australia.
So, Team Australia just a hair over the minute mark. Not bad. Not bad. In these round of 16, we have not had anybody drop in under a minute. So that tells you the pressure that these guys are under here. So we'll look at the review here really quickly. Look at the concentration by Lawrence O'Toole. There's Braden Meyer just throwing everything he's got into that single buck, doing a fantastic job. Braden Meyer, who I was mentioning earlier at the Champions Trophy a couple years ago in Austria, was a revelation with the speed that he moved that axe, and then Glenn Gillum with his huge axe head just powering through this block. One final hit here, and it goes right through that block like butter. Look at that final blow. Beautiful. All right, so looking at the round of 16, those guys from the last chance qualifier, they were the ones that moved into that round against some tough opponents. And now, as we look to the quarterfinal, we're going to see Sweden up against New Zealand as they mix things around. The Czech Republic will go up against the United States, Germany against Poland, and Canada against Australia. And now we're going to take a look at the two Australasian teams here, New Zealand and Australia. New Zealand had that 54-44 time. So in fact, New Zealand was under in that round of 16. I misspoke earlier. Australia just over, but New Zealand looking incredibly strong, and you can see there, they're pretty close. A quick stick by Braden Meyer there as we see him start a bit later. Otherwise, I think Australia would have been definitely under the minute mark there. So these are going to be two giant teams going up against each other through the remainder of the day if everything stays nice and even. Glenn Gillum just working hard on that block. And on the New Zealand side, so much skill, so much speed. Glenn moving over to the other side, New Zealand dropping it there, and a couple more blows for Glenn Gillum to put that block down. Nicely done by both of these teams. Good job. It's going to be fun to see how this thing continues on for the rest of the evening. Taking a look at those highlights there from that round of 16. Moving on now to the quarterfinal. 8 teams remaining in the competition, and we will have Sweden going up against New Zealand. The Czech Republic going up against the United States. Germany and Poland will be battling with each other, and Canada will go up against Australia. And there we see, bringing over from our round of 16 to the quarterfinal. No names in there yet, unfortunately, on our graphic, but like I said, Sweden, New Zealand will start things off in the quarterfinal for us. Czech Republic and the United States will be battling each other, then Germany, Poland, and finally Canada, Australia. That final heat's going to be a tough one for Canada. They've been struggling a little bit with their timing, but something about Canada is they tend to get a little bit faster as they get a bit greasier moving on towards the next round. So will they be okay up against Australia with that adrenaline pumping and controlling their situation a little bit better? Very, very possible. We've seen that battle in past. We've seen both of these teams best each other on a couple of occasions. It's anybody's guess, and anything can happen here in these team competitions. It could be a flag on the play that makes a difference between winning and losing. So let's see how it breaks down for these teams as we move on. Sweden going up against New Zealand. we see last checks, making sure every movement is well practiced. Everything has to be more or less mechanical, so it's an automatic reaction. Muscle memory plays a huge role here. New Zealand, as we know, super strong. The only team so far to stay under a minute throughout the competition. Everybody else has been slightly over or well over a minute. Canada did well to have a faster time than their time trial. They had a time of 1:01.47 from the earlier round of 16. Australia was just over a minute at 1:00.04, but New Zealand, they were fast with a 54.44. So
athletes ready.
Good and solid heats for New Zealand. And boy, they're strong looking. Here we go.
1, go!
Massive angle on the saw for New Zealand, and it's looking much better for Sweden. Oh my goodness, though, that angle was definitely working to the advantage of New Zealand as they got through fast. Ferry Swan now moving over to the backside. He's dead even with his counterpart on underhand chop over on the New Zealand side, but New Zealand gets through first. Oh my goodness, this is a battle of single buck right now. New Zealand with the advantage, moving over to the standing block. And Sweden joining the fray. Oh, New Zealand is so strong. They might even make it under a minute to go. Oh my goodness, holy moly smokes. And folks, that was unbelievable. A 49.93. A 49.93. They just bested their time by a margin. Holy smokes, folks. That is unbelievable. New Zealand, a 49.93 unofficial. We'll wait for it with the adjustments and stuff. And Sweden, they actually did well with a 1:00.57, so just slightly over the minute mark. And that was a great, great heat by Sweden as well. But that was an amazing performance by New Zealand. Oh, wow. Kyle Lemon, Shane Jordan, Robert Dowling, Jack Jordan, they just killed it. New Zealand is slowly narrowing in on the world record speed of 45.10.
And the winner is Team New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, clearly. From heat to heat, they seem to be getting faster. They seem to have found their stride and being pushed by stronger teams as they move along is definitely working to their advantage. New Zealand with a 49.58, making it official there with an incredible time. Only 4 seconds they need to cut off their time to get towards that world record status. All right. Unbelievable, and a great job. I mean, let's be honest. Sweden did a fantastic job there. 1 or 2 strokes less on a couple of these chops, and they would have been under a minute as well with a great time. But man, New Zealand just insanely fast. And look at the reaction in the background there when they saw that time. Ah, incredible. All right, so we're going to bring our next pairing out on to the stage here. It is going to be the home team, Czech Republic, up against the USA. Komarek setting up for the underhand chop. His favorite discipline. A lot of people here crossing their fingers for Team Czech Republic going up against the USA. The USA, the other team, one of four that are under a minute on their time, could improve here. And the ultras in the audience pumped up for this heat.
Warm up your saws.
All right. Pressure is on here. A lot of praying going on stage, in particular by Martin Komarek from the Czech Republic.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Leos Klima for the Czech Republic starts off on stock saw. Heavily concentrated there. The USA looking very solid as well. USA drops the cookie first, but Martin Komarek right there behind them. USA looking strong. Matthew Slingerland on that underhand chop. Now moving over to the single buck. Jason Lentz, a big boy, pushing hard to get through that single buck quickly. And now stepping over to the standing block chop. Cassidy Shear, I believe, is on there. The Czech Republic getting lots of support from the audience here. One final blow. Oh my goodness, a great time by the USA, 51.87. And the Czech Republic does it in 57.66. Also a great time for the home team. They can't be disappointed with that. Yeah, of course, they lost this heat, but man, what a fantastic time by the Czech Republic. And that means they know they can do it. They know they can do it. Wow, two great teams, two great times. And the Czech Republic, another team jumping into the under-minute club here at the Steel Timbersports World Championships Team Event 2019. That is an incredible performance, and their fans here can be ultra proud of the way they just brought it down.
And the winner is Team USA.
So the Team USA will move on to the semifinal. And look at this. Great job by the USA dropping that cookie and quickly moving over to the underhand chop. Last couple of blows here at the USA side for the underhand. Now moving over to big Jason Lentz on that single buck, doing a fantastic job. And he really captained that one right to the last point. And here on this standing block chop, there was just no stopping him. But the Czech Republic, wow, I mean, fought from behind, and what did I talk about earlier? You're playing up against the team you're playing against, and the Czech Republic definitely did that, having one of the faster times of the day. Unfortunately, they needed that time earlier in the day so that they didn't have the hard matchups, and they did a great job. Look at this, final couple of blows here from the Czech side. Great job by them and getting that done in 57:34. Amazing finish.
Poprosím vydržte, protože tohle to je tým České republiky. Tohle to je tým České republiky. OK, pánové, Martin, Leoš a Jan, tohle to je Česká republika.
Určitě má sport rád jako vy, takže je to příroda a my jsme do toho dali všechno. Děkujeme vám ještě jednou, nejenom, že jste tady a že nás držíte a budeme se těšit na dalších závodech. Díky!
Stejně tak jak Martin, já vám za nás za všechny moc děkuju. Jste skvělí, jste nejlepší publikum, který kde bylo. Děkuju.
Já bych vám chtěl všem poděkovat, protože tohle je pro nás takový splněný sen a jste skvělý publikum. Díky moc.
Já už se asi budu jenom opakovat. Opravdu děkujeme za skvělou atmosféru a užijte se to do konce. Děkujeme.
Ještě jednou, jen a pouze pro ně. Martin, Leoš a Honza, reprezentanti České republiky, kteří jasně ukazují, pojďte do toho. Ještě jednou a pojďte! A kluci ještě jednou poslední, pojďte! Velká rozlučka za výborný, fantastický tým. Martin Komárek, Martin Roušal, Leoš Klíma, Jan Holub, 4 disciplíny a teď čas pro relax a oddech pro bojovníky z českého týmu.
Well, there you saw it, the fans here absolutely loving that last result from their team heroes. And I mean, they got under a minute. You can't complain about that. Of course, they didn't make it past an incredibly strong USA team, but hey, they showed that they have the gumption to get there in under a minute. They know that they can do it now, and that means down the road, that confidence is going to come with them to further events. Absolutely. All right, next up, we've got Poland going up against Germany. Poland showed that they are not messing around here today. So as Poland and Germany head out on to the stage for their heat, Germany will occupy stand A, Poland will be on stand B. It looks like Robert Ebener is going to go to his favorite position on the standing block chop for Germany. Stock saw taken care of by Stefan Odvaka. Danny Marr on underhand. And single buck should be Lars Siebert. On the Poland side, we know that Mikael Dubicki is going to be taking care of standing block. He's very, very strong there. I can't tell from up here if that's Arkadia Strozdik, but I do not think so on stock saw. No, it's not.
Warm up your saws.
That should be Marcin Jaskowski. Which means Marcin Drage should be our underhand chop.
Athletes ready.
Here we go.
Stand
Poland,
to
Germany.
your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
An even start for both teams. Poland gets that block down first. Good start by Poland. Germany coming in from behind now on the underhand chop. Moving over to the other side. Marcin Drage. Yee, big boy, huge arms, massive head speed on that axe, and he is through quickly. Moving over to the single buck. Poland has a distinct advantage. 30 seconds in now, and they're almost finished with the single buck. This is looking very good for Poland here as they go to Michael Dubicki on that standing block chop. Big, strong man there, plenty of power on his side. Could we have a fast time for them here as well? It looks like good wood for Poland. Oh my goodness, one more hit, one more, here we go. Oh, yes, 57-88 for Poland. They continue to impress. Robert Ebner putting everything he's got into that standing block chop and finally drops it in 106.01. That's a disappointing run for the Germans. A couple of hookups, a couple of axe sticks here and there, and that's the difference maker. My goodness, though, what about that Polish team continually impressing everyone? An unofficial time of 57.88. When that gets adjusted, it might be a little bit quicker. We'll find out, but the Polish fans are into it.
And the winner is Team Poland.
So Poland continues their strong performances here in Prague in the Czech Republic at the beautiful Industrial Palace. As we wait for our final two teams to come out on stage after the stage is prepared for them. Poland with a time of 57.61. So their 57.88 was in fact adjusted, and now they are down to a time of 57.61. Again, another fast time by them. And you could see here in the replay, Germany was doing a great job, but just a couple of axe hookups here, a couple of saw hookups, a little bit slow on the stock saw, and that was the difference maker for them against a very strong Polish team. And there we see the last strokes on that single buck by Germany, heading it over to Robert Ebner on the standing block chop. But Michael Dubicki, man, he just threw everything he had into it. And he would have had that dropped a little bit earlier, but he made a couple of small mistakes with the axe position. And Robert Ebner gritting it, his teeth every step of the way. And you could see the disappointment on his face after he looked at the time on the wall there. A time of 1:06.70 for Team Germany. They know they can do better than that. They have done better than that.
Čekáme ještě na jeden souboj, než se dostaneme do další části.
A battle of the superpowers here. Team Canada been struggling a little bit. Marcel Dupuis leading them out against Team Australia, who we saw is devastating in this discipline.
Australani nejenom mistři světa, ale zároveň držitelé světového rekordu právě z loňské sezóny, z mistrovství světa v Anglii 45-10.
Sterling Hart preparing the head of his axe to make sure that he can get it out of those blocks. It doesn't get stuck in there with each stroke that he does, putting a little bit of chalk on that axe handle as well to make sure he's got a good solid grip on it. Marcel Dupuis setting his stock saw in, or his single buck in place for the setup here. He is looking ready to go. Look at the teeth on those big saws. And Brad DeLosa back in the mix on a discipline where he is incredibly comfortable and incredibly strong. Braden Meyer has moved back onto the underhand chop for Australia. Glenn Gillum with his massive axe is also in position at standing block. Lawrence O'Toole ready on the stock saw. Here we go. Australia, Canada.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
To Braden Meyer, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Braden Meyer so quick with that axe, already over to the other side. Ton of power, ton of endurance, and just unbelievable accuracy with that axe as he gets through. Sterling Hart still working hard to get through his, and wow, Team Australia already moving over to Brad DeLosa on the single buck. Now Marcel Dupuis for Canada on the single buck. Marcel is quick, but not as quick as Brad DeLosa right now as he drops the cookie and heads it over to Glenn Gillum. Ben Cumberland now starts on the standing block, but Glenn Gillum is well into the backside of his, and it looks like we might have a really good time for Team Australia. Oh my goodness, a 49.94. Another team drops below the 50-second mark. Ben Cumberland 1-2 more hits, and it's not a bad time for them either. Finally, Canada gets it under a minute in a 57.75. Woo! What a battle that was.
49,94. I tady budeme čekat na potvrzení rozhodčí.
Canada's got to be happy with that. They improved from heat to heat here. You can see congratulations all around for the friendly Canucks. 57.75, a great time for Canada. Unfortunately, it came a bit too late. And you can see a little bit of disappointment in the audience, but Canada's got to be pleased with the result time-wise. That's very good for them. But Australia, wow, 49.94 without adjustment. That's unofficial. It might even go down from there. So New Zealand and Australia appear to be on a collision course with each other time-wise.
And the winner is Team Australia.
A great battle between two monumentally good teams, but Team Australia was just slightly better today. Canada improved from heat to heat, like I said, but unfortunately for them, their improvement came just a little bit too late. And we're going to go down to the main stage after we take a look at some of these replays here. Look at that cut. Thin to win is the word of the day. And absolutely. And there you see Braden Meyer in the foreground, Sterling Hart in the background with some fantastic effort. But Braden Meyer just so incredibly strong with that axe, so fast. He moves it so quickly. And then, of course, I mean, what are you going to say about Brad DeLosa? He is a legend. He has absolutely zero competition when it comes to that single buck. And then Glenn Gillum with that amazing action on the standing block as Sterling Hart yelling encouragement. Unfortunately, that encouragement helped them get a fast time, but just not quite fast enough. And now we're going to head down to the center stage to hear from Team Australia.
Didn't even know who you were, and we went out back and had a chat, and hey, long lost friends. Well, we're going to do a quick interview here with Team Australia. You guys are going to be moving on. I've got Glenn Gillum here. He cuts the final standing block. You've mixed your team up a little bit. Lawrence O'Toole, he's got his O face on today. They're going to keep, you guys are going to keep him in the stock saw. You brought in Braden Meyer, just a rapid fire competitor in that underhand cut. You got a 10-inch axe. I know you don't like to talk about it. It's a design. Some competitors have talked smack about you. Let's face it, they say, it's a prop. They say it's an intimidation factor, bring it out here. But you invented it, a 10-inch wide axe, and you say it works. You don't hang it. You never do. You keep a pace. You drove it off in 5 hits in the back, but we've seen you driving less hits than that.
Yeah, look, you've just got to adapt with the timber. This year it's a little bit firmer, but still, we're making each cut time after time, putting it on the board, and we've got Braden down there on the underhand, the woodpecker, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what comes in the next round.
All right, that's Glenn Gillum here, the anchor man for Team Australia. Watch what's going to happen later. They say they can go faster.
Can they go faster? It's possible. We've seen some incredible times in this quarterfinal. New Zealand with a 49.58, Australia with a 49.89. How close are those two? Like I said, it could be that we're going to see them heading towards each other. Before that, though, semi-final action with New Zealand going up against the United States. The United States has also been under a minute in all of their heats here. So, can they do it against a very strong New Zealand team? Let's look at this. 49.89 versus 49.58. A comparison of New Zealand and Australia. Is this a preview of the final? That remains to be seen, but you can see the quick axe of Braden Meyer there on the underhand chop. How fast was he through that block? Insane. And then Brad DeLosa, I mean, the guy has experience, he is a legend, and there's not many people that can beat him in that single bucket. He is quick, but he was a bit slower in this case. But then it came down to Glenn Gillum and his big axe, and that is the difference maker here. As you heard earlier on, Super Dave Jewett say that he is the anchor man, and he definitely anchored them here. But how close was that finish by both of those teams? Amazing.
Na levé i na pravé straně, myslím tím závodníci, že postupují dál mezi 4 týmy světového šampionátu.
All right, so Team New Zealand will be going up against Team United States. New Zealand will have stand A, the USA will have stand B, and then we're going to see Poland on Australia. And by the way, I didn't even speak about Poland there. I mean, it could be New Zealand, Australia, but, you know, Poland has been getting stronger and stronger. And it could be they can go faster, too. We'll find out. 4 teams remain here at the STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship in Prague in the Czech Republic. 4 teams all aiming for that top spot of the podium and the World Championship title in the team discipline.
Proti něm Američané. Loni po skvělém výkonu na 2. místě i loni dokázali ale atakovat velmi rychlé časy na hranici 50 vteřin. Tohle to je souboj o velké finále STIHL Timbersports mistrovství světa 2019. Nový
All right, I got to make a quick correction here. I have been calling the standing block man for the USA Cassidy. In fact, it's Nate Hodges in that position, so I apologize, Nate. He's been doing a great job over there for the USA in that anchor position. As New Zealand,
Athletes
Kyle
ready.
Lemon, Shane Jordan, Robert Dowling, and Jack Jordan all get ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Very good start by both of these teams. As always, they're so even at this point. Moving over to the underhand chop. New Zealand switching to the front side quickly. The USA lagging a bit there. Axe, hook up, and they're quick through the, oh my goodness, what a great cut there. A lot of cheering going on here. New Zealand very quick through that single buck. Oh my goodness. Oh, a massive hookup, and that's going to cause problems for New Zealand, as now it's come down to the two anchormen. Nate Hodges, he's been solid moving to the other side. Will the USA be able to take down New Zealand? Oh my goodness, it's going to be a close one. No! New Zealand does it in a time of 51:52. The United States 53:06. How close was that, folks? Oh my goodness. And I thought New Zealand was going to be in trouble after that single buck got stuck. And do I see a flag on the play down there? Is there a broken cookie? We're going to see a double check here. Our judges check everything, and it looks like we are okay on both stands. No flags so far, so that's a good thing for Team New Zealand. Wow, what a battle that was. Let's look at the times here. New Zealand with a 51:52. The United States with a 53:06. Hi, ay, 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 ay.
And the winner is Team New Zealand.
All right, so it becomes official there. Team New Zealand making it to the final. The United States will battle through in the consolation round for third and fourth place here at the competition. Let's look back at this. Really nice start by the US on that stock saw. They were through really quickly, but then it came down to that underhand chop, and the USA did a great job, but New Zealand was coming hard from behind, and the USA, I thought for sure that the New Zealand side would get through there faster, but Matt Slingerland just managed to get that cut done well, and there you see Jason Lentz just doing a fantastic job on that single buck. And right here, there was a problem with the final bit of the cookie, and you got to be real careful, because if that cookie breaks, that's going to cost you time. But they did a great job. In New Zealand, they had a fair cookie at the end after it was checked, and that final blow dropped that block in a time of 51:26. So New Zealand moves on to the final, and again, both of these teams under a minute. Fantastic. All right, so Team New Zealand is down on the second stage, and we're going to hear from them.
Sounds pretty good to me, mate.
Did you expect that coming here to Prague?
You never expect to win a race like that against America. I mean, they're one of the top teams in the world for a reason, so.
And I believe I saw a big smile on your face during the heat. Or were my eyes mistaken?
I'm pretty happy-go-lucky most of the time, but yeah, I don't think it would have been a smile right at that moment.
It was a very close race, but you guys seemed very confident. Are you confident for the final?
Oh, we'll just have to put our best foot forward and hope for the best, I think. Australia's a pretty tough side, so yeah, hope all goes well.
And last question, do you have a favorite for the final? Do you expect the team, or do you just not care?
What was that, sorry?
Do you expect a special team in the final? Do you have a favorite team for the final, or is it just that you don't care? Whoever comes, comes?
It's always good competing against Australia in any final. There's a good rivalry between Australia and New Zealand, so but good luck to Poland in the semi.
That's a beautiful final word. And ladies and gentlemen, as this great team proceeds to the final, we're going to do a wave. We're going to rock Prague at this very moment. Miro, you're going to help us. Everybody, let's see your hands. We're going to do a wave from the front all the way to the back. So come on, Prague, show us your hands. Are you guys ready? Miro, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, let's go! One more time. Let me see your hands. Miro, you count us in and check. All the way to the back. We'll do one more. Everybody at the back, everybody at the front. On the count of 3. Oh, beautiful. And now let's see your waves. Wave your flag. Come on. Beautiful.
All right, a couple of runs at the wave in the arena here, and we are going to get ready for semi-final number 2. That is Australia up against Poland. Poland has been a surprise team this year. Every heat, they've been under a minute, and they seem to have been getting stronger and stronger every step of the way. Of all the guys that are on stage there, Poland has nothing to lose. They can just go for it. Australia, they are the reigning world champions in the team, and they could theoretically lose that title here today if they can't get past Australia. If they can't get past Poland. Both of them are so well matched up. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a really fun one. Here we go. The tension is rising here as these last-minute preparations get taken care of on stage by both of these teams. There's Braden Meyer, who we've seen is just an incredible axeman on that underhand chop. And they've shifted it around a little bit now.
Warm up your saws.
Around a little bit for the Australians. They have given Glenn Gillam a rest here in this one. Let's see how this affects how things go.
3,
here we go.
2, 1, go.
Very quick start for Poland. Also for Australia. Cookies drop almost at the same time. Moving over to the underhand chop now. Both these guys throwing those axes at that block. A little stick for the Poland side, but Braden Meyer for Australia, he has got it through. Poland almost there. A couple more hits ought to do it. Oh, another stick for Poland, and that's costing them big time. Brad DeLosa over on the single buck. He is all the way through now. Poland playing catch-up as we go over to the standing block chop for Australia. Mika Dubicki, a big, strong man, on the standing block for Poland, moves to the other side. Oh my goodness, it's a 48-72 for Australia as they drop the block. Oh, and a problem. That big block slaps heavily for Mika Dubicki, and he's got to go back and hit it 2-3 more times to drop that block. And still, he manages to get it done in under a minute with a 53-58. But an incredible time by Australia of 48-72, narrowing down that gap, coming towards their 45-10 from last year. Will they be able to be faster? They think so, but Australia thinks they're faster too. So it's going to come down to an Australia-New Zealand final. That's going to be a fun one. So that makes it official. Team Australia with a 48.50, Poland with a 57.05. Still a super respectable time, but unfortunately it's knockout here, and that means Australia is going to go on to the final against Team New Zealand, and the United States will battle against Poland in the consolation final. As we look back here, Poland had a really good start here, looked solid, dead in between the lines. Very, very nice cut. But it was Braden Meyer, that man right there, that brought Australia ahead of Poland here with that fantastic cut. And then you see Brad DeLosa in the background, green and yellow, just so solid on that single buck. There's no catching him once he's got the flow going there, and he uses that entire saw to his advantage. And just fantastic right there. Mitch Argent filling in for Glenn Gillum on that standing block chop. He also does a great job. Just imagine Glenn Gillum had a little bit of a rest, and he is going to be ready for the final with fresh arms. So New Zealand wins their battle against the United States. Poland taken down by Australia, and all four of them under a minute. But Australia was particularly fast in this one with a 48.50, fastest time of the day so far. So that means in the consolation or small final, the United States will go up against Poland, and these two teams will be battling against each other in the final as we take a look at the comparison of these two times. All right, taking a look at some of the highlights from this semifinal here. The USA against New Zealand. That was a great heat. Both of these teams just fantastic. New Zealand getting through there. And of course, Poland against Australia. Building us up to an amazing small final and an amazing final. So the United States will go against Poland in the small final, and in the final it'll be Australia against New Zealand. And while we do have 20 nations represented here, there are people from all over the world that participate in the sport and who are coming into the sport. And there you can see, oh, Mikko Dubacki had to do extra work to get that last bit off. As I was saying, Timbersports is all about tolerance with the different people that are here.
Timbersports say tolerance. Please watch the big screens, ladies and gentlemen.
We are Timbersports, united by passion for the sport and competition. chop down racism.
And say yes to tolerance.
Yes to tolerance.
Yes to tolerance.
Yes to tolerance.
To say yes to tolerance.
Yes to tolerance.
Say ja till tolerans.
Oui à la tolérance.
是的，理解宽容。
Say yes to tolerance.
We are Timbersports.
Oh, got a beautiful scarf. Oh, people from Wales, here we go. Oh, look at that cap. Looks really, really nice. Miro, did you find somebody who needs this cap? I'm pretty sure we have, but I can't hear Miro anymore. Where are you, man? Let's give it one more big kick. So let's get ready for the small and the big final. Mira, I can hardly await it. And we need to get ready for this. We need to take a big breath and then scream for the last 4 remaining teams.
For the medal, bronze, silver and gold. Vítejte v souboji těch, kteří mají letos nejlepší formu. Tohleto jsou ti, kteří...
Alrighty then, you just saw the graphic. It is the United States against Poland. Poland has been a revelation here this weekend. They can absolutely be extremely proud about how they performed every single heat under a minute, improving from heat to heat. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get past New Zealand. Excuse me, they battled against Australia. Now, the USA, who we know is an incredibly strong Timbersports nation. They have proved their dominance in the sport over the last few years, but today it's absolutely rocking and rolling. The USA up against Poland in the consolation final. This is for places 3 and 4 in the overall standings in today's event, and of course in the world rankings for the teams. As the tension rises here for both of these teams, we get the saw warm-up band from Rich Hallett. And we get ready to drop the hammer on this small final here.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, stock saws are in, and they are rolling. Looking good for both teams. Poland through quickly. The USA just a hair ahead of them. Matthew Slingerland on the underhand. Oh, he got his axe really caught on the turnaround. That's a disadvantage for him. Can he get through quickly? He does a great job, though. On the Polish side, Marcin Draga has to do one last hit. They've been struggling with those things slapping big time. Oh yeah, great job by Jason Lenz to get that single buck through like butter. And now, Michał Dubicki for Poland. Nate Hodges for the USA. He gets his axe caught. Michał Dubicki battling hard. It's going to be a tight one here, but it looks like it's going to be Nate Hodges dropping that block for the USA quickly. Great job by the US to beat Poland by just a little bit. And that is a new record by the looks of it. Yes, it is. If it's at the moment, it's unofficial. It's unofficial, but a 54-18. That's a new record for the United States. Anyway, I'm going to double check that here. The time, no, it's not a world record. 45-10 was a world record from last year, but a 54-18 could be a new record for the USA. We're just going to double check that. So the United States just ahead of Poland, 54-18 to 57-08. So close. Both of these teams can be very proud of how they performed here this weekend. So the USA's best time was in 2018, was a 51-28. So they didn't get their best time. And a 53-91 is what they're going to have here today. And it should be official here.
Team USA.
Yeah, there we go. Now it's official at 53-91. Poland with a 56-87. So no records broken this time around, but a great job by the USA to take third place here at the competition. Poland will end up in fourth. Just amazing. Look at that. Poland doing such a great job. Wouldn't have expected this coming into this season. They had a very good season last year, but they were not at this level. And they surprised everybody with their performances here. We knew they were good. We knew they were strong, but we weren't aware of just how strong they were. Great job by the USA, though. Absolutely fantastic. Well done and well-deserved third place for them. And we are going to hear from the USA shortly. They are in the middle stage, just waiting to head down there for a quick interview from our live announcer, Marcus Flott.
Looking at these pictures, what does it make you feel?
Excuse me?
Looking at these pictures.
It's absolutely amazing. Yep.
What about the atmosphere here in Prague? I mean, you can see all the US flags behind you. How do you guys feel?
You absolutely, you can't ask for a better venue to be out here with this crowd rooting you on. You got people from all over the world here just rooting us on. It's amazing. It's an adrenaline rush.
I feel like people are screaming really loud for you. Every time you turn around, the girls are going wild. Is that people you brought along? Have you never seen before?
I love it. I love being here. It's a great time, great cheering crowd. Thanks everyone. Thanks.
There's going to be a bronze medal on this mighty chest in just a few minutes. How happy are you about that?
Yeah, we're really happy, Team USA, to be on the podium, but never satisfied. We'll be back hungry again next year.
Oh, that's very dangerous to hear. I haven't asked you yet. This is your chance to say something to the crowd.
What an amazing crowd. This is probably one of the best cheering crowds I've ever heard. We love you guys.
Nothing more to say. Team USA, bronze medalists here at the STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship 2019. One more time, give it up for Team USA.
And the USA chants begin from the fan block in the audience. And that is a team that can be pretty proud of a bronze medal here. They did a great job, and you know, like Jason Lenz said, they're happy but never satisfied, so they'll be back stronger than ever next year, knowing that they definitely have the skills to pay the bills. So, that being said, we now prepare for a battle that has been waged many times in the past. Two teams that know each other very well from previous years. Two monumental, talented teams in the world of timber sports, and two teams that will be battling for the status of Team World Champion here at the 2019 STIHL Timbersports World Championships here in Prague. New Zealand.
This is it. This is
coming
the moment
onto the
we've all
stage
been waiting
with the
for,
reigning
ladies and
champions,
gentlemen. This
Team
is the
Australia.
final between New Zealand and Australia.
Will Team Australia defend the title that they earned in Liverpool last year in 2018, or will New Zealand win another World Championship team title here in 2019? It is all to be decided right now. Final preparations made on stage. Shane Jordan will be anchoring New Zealand on the standing block. Jack Jordan on the underhand chop. Kyle Lemon taking care of business on that single buck. And Robert Dowling will start us off on the stock saw. For Team Australia, stock saw is going to go back to Lawrence O'Toole. He's been solid on there all day long. Braden Meyer back on the underhand
Warm
chop.
up your saws.
Of course, Brad DeLosa on his favorite discipline, the single buck, and missing Glenn Gillum again on the standing block to anchor this team in.
Athletes ready.
We saw Mitch Argent do a great job earlier. That's how deep this team is. Here we go, the final.
Go!
Lawrence O'Toole with a good start on that stock. Oh my goodness, they're so even. Braden Meyer working hard here. Jack Jordan doing his best to keep up with the fast axe of Braden Meyer. And it looks like Jack Jordan might get through. No, he will not. Braden Meyer got it. Jack Jordan just after him. And now over to a frantic pace from Kyle Lemon. Absolutely hammering away on that single buck. But it's going to be Brad DeLosa just ahead. And now it comes down to Mitch Argent and Shane Jordan battling hard on the standing block. Who is it going to be? It's going to be Australia or New Zealand. Oh my God, how close is this? It's one of the closest heats we've had all day long. And it's Australia defending their title of Team World Champion. 2 years in a row. 2018 in Liverpool and 2019 here in Prague in the Czech Republic. Oh wow, what a heat. And it came down to literally the last grains of wood holding that block atop the standing block, and it was all Mitch Argent's final hit that did it for Team Australia. What an amazing finish. Holy smokes, folks, it doesn't get any closer than that. No flags on the play. It looks like everybody's going down to the decision zone with our head judge, Rich Hallett, and that is a good thing for both of these teams, but especially for Team Australia, who defend their title of Team World Champion from 2018. Incredible. They said they could go faster, and they did. New Zealand with a 49.97 time. Australia with a 48.20. No world record broken here, but damn, they were quick. There we see Team Australia getting plenty of congratulations from the people at the end of the walkway here in the decision zone. And of course, Team New Zealand coming down as well. Two fantastic competitive countries, two fantastic competitive teams, and a fantastic final here in Prague. You just can't ask for better. The times were incredibly fast. And here we go.
Team Australia.
It is official. Team Australia, the old and new world champion. They defend their title from 2018 and take it home once again here in Prague in 2019. Wow, is this going to be a dynasty team? Is this going to be the dominant team for the next years to come? The way it looks, very possible, but there are plenty of teams that broke the minute barrier here, including Team Poland, who made it to the small final against a really strong Team USA. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch how this progresses over the next years. A great job, though, by all the teams involved here, and we are going to really be keeping a close eye on how things progress for Team Australia in the next couple of years. You can see there just a fantastic single buck from Brad DeLosa. It was so close. These teams are so evenly matched, but Mitch Argent just did a fantastic job here. That final blow, and you can see the reaction, the jubilation, and a fantastic job from Mitch Argent and everybody on Team Australia. Lawrence O'Toole looking on there as he saw the final blow was done by Mitch Argent. He looks over to see what was happening with Shane Jordan, and he knew that they had done it. And it was hugs all around for the Aussies. All right, and we got the winning team down there with Super Dave Jewett.
This is more than just a chopping event, more than a slide. This is more than Timbersports. This is a rivalry that goes back 100 years. Australia and New Zealand, they didn't make it to the medal round last year. You knew they were going to bring it, and we always make the choppers the heroes. Let's talk about the unsung hero, Brad DeLosa. You had to stay with Kahu Woolley. You knew he was fast. That was the fastest cut you made all weekend. How did you find that in your tank?
Yeah, I knew New Zealand, were going to be hard to beat. They certainly stepped it up a little bit from last year after a mistake, and we know how that feels, so they were back with a vengeance. But, yeah, look, I mean, all the boys found a little bit in that last round. Yeah, I soared well, but, full credit to all the boys all the way through the rounds. We stuck to a game plan and, yeah, come out on top again, which is just unbelievable.
All right, there you go. That's Brad DeLosa, the anchor man, the single buck cutter. That's the man showing you how it's done. The gold medalist, Team Australia.
Well, what can you say about that? The STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship 2019 from the Industrial Palace in Prague in the Czech Republic, taken down by Team Australia, and they repeat the Team World Championship status 2 years in a row from 2018 in Liverpool to 2019 in Prague. Great job by them. And we will jump right into the awards ceremony here shortly. But I want to say thank you so much for joining us here this weekend. It was a fantastic event, and we hope that you enjoyed every single minute of it. Let's take a look back here at this comparison one more time between these two fantastic teams. This, the final comparison. there you see New Zealand, Australia, 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 New Zealand, Australia. How many times are they going to change this trophy back and forth between these two countries? It is unbelievable. So that means 2019 will also go to that team right there, Australia. And this time, the little badge on that trophy will say Prague in the Czech Republic.
This is the official winners ceremony of the STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship 2019.
So there they are, the Team World Champions, and it really was a team effort. We saw a lot of shifting around of the guys throughout the competition. And here comes the remainder of the podium teams. New Zealand coming in next, followed by Team USA in the bronze medal position, and then the remainder of the teams will join them on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, give it up for all participating teams from Austria, Belgium, Canada, France, Great Britain, Germany, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Romania, Switzerland, Sweden, Turkey, and of course,
So as the remainder of the teams from all 20 nations come up onto the stage to celebrate this awards ceremony for 3 incredible teams that will be on the podium, we cannot forget to mention that there are a lot of talented athletes out there and a lot of talented teams that we saw improve from the first part of the day all the way through the remainder. Poland, how strong were they today? Canada went from a 1:19 to almost under a minute. So there was definitely improvements all around. In fact, Canada went to a 57.73 in the quarterfinal, just losing out to Australia. We saw improvements also from Sweden, just over a minute, and also from Germany, which is the most disappointing result here with a 1:05.70, but that was definitely better than what they had earlier on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
but I mean, I gotta tell you, it is just a fantastic event. The excitement in the audience, the fans absolutely going for it, and now the bronze medal award, 3rd place in the competition, going to Team USA with a fantastic showing here today. Jason Lentz, Matt Slingerland, Cassidy Shear, Nate Hodges, Andrew Sargent, Matt Kogar, all the guys just supporting each other. And it was a fantastic job all around by Team USA.
Bronze medalists Matthew Koger, Jason Lentz, Matthew Slingerland, Cassidy Shear, Nate Hodges, and Andrew Surgeon. Team USA!
Second place, runners up in the Team World Championship status for 2019, Team New Zealand. Incredible job they did today. Kyle Lemon, Shane Jordan, Robert Dowling, Jack Jordan. All these guys, just fantastic. Incredible times. And you know what, folks? It's not over yet. This was the team competition today. We still have Saturday to go with the individual competition, and that will be another animal altogether that we hope you join us for. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of excitement here. Great job by Team USA in bronze and Team New Zealand in silver. Timbersports team world champions from Australia taking the gold. It is Team Australia. Brad DeLosa, Braden Meyer, Lawrence O'Toole, Glenn Gillum, Mitch Argent, and David Roymer. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable speed, and an unbelievable dominance of the team competition over the last few years, sharing that podium spot with Team New Zealand. Absolutely incredible, but it is definitely a dynasty situation right now with Team Australia. They have been on top of their game for so long, it's hard to know who will be able to take them down.
Lawrence O'Toole, Glenn Gillum, Mitch Argent, and David Roymer.
Record broken this year, but boy, did they ever come close. Fantastic job by all three teams on the podium. A big congratulations to them.
The big moments.
And now the presentation of the World Championship trophy, which Australia will take with them once again.
World Champion trophy for Australia.
Celebratory lift of the trophy, and that signifies it. It's official. Team Australia retains their championship status 2 years running.
Anthem of the new world champion.
champagne showers are taken care of. The celebration can begin for all these athletes. A fantastic job, and a big congratulations goes out to Team Australia, taking the World Championship title 2 years in a row, 18 and 19. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship event here in Prague in the Czech Republic 2019. Don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday, we have, starting at 1900 hours European Central Time, the individual or single World Championship. Tune in again tomorrow night for lots more. Until then, I'm Troy Mannering saying thank you very much for joining us, and take care, everyone. Ciao.